Today we're going to continue with multiplying decimals, but we are going to apply multiple operations. So in this example, we have 2 and 44 hundredths times the quantity 4 and 5 tenths minus 3 and 175 thousandths. Since we're following PEMDAS or order of operations, we do need to complete what's in parentheses first. So I'm going to do my subtraction first. So we know with subtraction, we do have to line up the decimal point. Okay. Put in some zeros as placeholders here. Then we'll go ahead and subtract. Okay, I can't do 0 minus 5, so I'm going to go over here and borrow. This becomes 4. This becomes 9. Now I can make that a 10. 10 minus 5. 9 minus 7. 4 minus 1. Bring down that decimal point, and then 4 minus 3. So now what we have is 2 and 44 hundredths. Those parentheses became 1 and 325 thousandths. Now I have to multiply that. So a lot of times we'll say something like, those are really big decimals. They're not very big numbers. There's just a lot of digits, a lot of decimal places. So when we are working problems like this and we are doing computation, we need to slow down. We need to take our time. We need to make sure we keep everything in line. So I have mentioned if you need to use notebook paper, you can even turn it sideways so you have columns to keep everything in line. Perfectly fine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set this up. 1 and 325 thousandths, 2 and 44 hundredths. So again, since I'm multiplying, I'm not lining up the decimal points, but I do have to have all the digits in line. Hey, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm multiplying out this 4. 4 times 5, there's 20. 4 times 2, that's 8. I'm going to add the 2 here. So I get 10. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm adding the 1. 13. And then 4 times 1 is 4. I add that 1 to get 5. Now we're moving on to the next place value. So if these were whole numbers, this would be like multiplying by 40. So everything would have a 0 on the end. So I'm going to add a 0 here. Okay, and then if I were to multiply this all out, since it's another 4, I'm still going to get these digits. So I'm going to go ahead, 0, 0, 3, 5, and write those same digits. Okay, now I'm multiplying out the 2. I'm going to cross all of these out, showing that I have used them. Okay, and since I'm 2 place values over, I'm going to put 2 zeros and multiply here. 2 times 5, there's 10. 2 times 2, there's 4. Add the 1. 2 times 3 is 6. And then 2 times 1, 2. Now we need to add all of that together. 0, 0, 3. There's 10 plus 3. There's 11 plus 1. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. Now we need to determine how many decimal places we should have in our product. I have 3 up here. And I have 2 here. So when we add those together, we're going to have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our final result is 3 and 233 thousandths. Hey, I would like you to come down here to number 7. Go ahead and set that one up. We have addition and we have multiplication. So you're going to do the multiplication first. Once you get that result, you'll take that product and add the 12 and 67 hundredths. Then you're going to do number 8 as well. This is all multiplication. So we would technically do what's in parentheses first, but we also know that you can multiply in any order. Pause your video, give those a try, and then you can unpause to check your work. Here we are. So here I multiplied and I had 15 and 58 hundredths. So I took that product and added to get 28 and 25 hundredths. Number 8, I multiplied in parentheses and I got 13 and 5 tenths. So I took that 13 and 5 tenths and multiplied by 6 and 4 tenths, ending up with 86 and 4 tenths. All right, go ahead and turn your page over. We're going to work through a word problem now. Hey, anytime we have word problems, I am always going to ask you to do something called mark the text. What that means is I want you to mark what's important and put a box around the question for 2 reasons. We want to answer our word problems in complete sentences, and we also want to make sure, after working through multiple steps, that we are answering the correct question. So you buy 3.25 pounds of pink shrimp. You pay with 3 $20 bills. How much change do you receive? So we're going to mark what's important. You can highlight it, underline it, but we need to know how much shrimp did we buy? How did we pay? Okay, here's the cost of the shrimp. And then the question that we want to make sure we answer in a complete sentence is how much change did you receive? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out how much the shrimp costs. Okay, so if I bought 3.25 pounds at $17.95 per pound, so I'm going to take $17.95 and multiply that by 3 and 25 hundredths. So again, we're going to have lots of digits to keep in line here. If you need to use notebook paper, that's fine. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 9 is 45, and I'm adding the 2. So I get 47. 5 times 7 is 35, plus the 4, 39. And then 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to cross those out to show that I've used them. Place a 0, and I'm moving on to the 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 9 is 18. I'm adding this 1 to get 19. 2 times 7 is 14, and adding that 1 to get 15. And then 2 times 1 is 2, adding the 1 to get 3. All right, now we're going to move on to the 3. I'm going to cross out what I carried here. I'm going to place 2 zeros. I'm moving 2 place values over. 3 times 5, that's 15. 3 times 9 is 27. But I'm going to add that 1 to get 28. 3 times 7 is 21. Add the 2. We now have 23. And 3 times 1 is 3. Add the 2. We get 5. Now we're going to add all of those together. So here's 5, 7, 18 plus 5. There's 23. So 16 plus 5 plus 2, so there is 23 again. And then 6, 7, 8, and that 5. Hey, and now we need to figure out, where does the decimal point go? So we have 2 decimal places here, 2 decimal places here. So 4 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, because we're talking about money, we're talking about the cost of the shrimp. we do need to do a little bit of rounding, because when we are talking about money, we're only using 2 decimal places. We're going to the nearest penny. So we're looking here, and then we need to decide, do we keep this a 3 or round it up to a 4? Since we have a 7 here, we're going to round up. So the cost of the shrimp was $58.34. So now we need to figure out, we're not done yet, so we can check the question we boxed to see if we're done. We're not, because the question is how much change do you receive? If we paid with 3 $20 bills, that means we paid $60, and we're subtracting $58.34. So you can count the change there, or if you need to set it up, you can line up your decimal points and subtract. Can't do 0 minus 4. I'm going to go way over here and borrow. So this becomes a 5, 9, 9, and 10. 10 minus 4, 9 minus 3, 9 minus 8. So you receive, restating this question, $1.66 in change. All right, come down here and set this one up on your own here. So for this one, you're painting a fence. You earn $14.15 per hour. We're trying to figure out, did you earn enough money to buy a jersey after painting for 4.25 hours? So this is the question you're answering. And if so, how much extra money did you earn? If not, how much more money do you need to earn? Here's the cost of the jersey. So first you need to figure out how much money you earned. So you're going to go ahead and pause your video, and you're going to multiply your $14.50 by the number of hours you worked. All right, so when I multiply that out, here's what I got, and I would round that. Again, we're talking money, so you earned $60.14. So if my jersey is $59.99, yes, you can buy the jersey. You're going to have about 15 cents left over.